Rust is a game that has had its player count steadily grow since the game first came out 10 years ago. And if a player base is growing, that means that there's constantly new players. So, as a certified Rust enjoyer with 2,500 hours, I've decided to take it upon myself to help out the newer players this year. In this video, I'll be showing you 21 throbbing tips and tricks that I wish I had known when I first started playing Rust. And even if you're a more experienced Rust player, I guarantee that there's something in here that you didn't know. If you happen to have any questions at any point in the video, just drop them in the comment section and I'll try my best to quickly answer them for you. Without further ado, and in no particular order, tip number 1. You can find loot easier in grass if you have grass displacement enabled. You can quickly loot by holding H and mousing over the items that you want to take. Going off of that, you can also hold Alt and H at the same time to directly equip armor and clothes. You can craft 5 of an item at a time if you middle mouse click on it in the quick crafting menu. You can also right click an item to remove it from the crafting queue. If you're ever running through a forest, be sure to pick up mushrooms. They can heal 3 health instantly, and if you place them in your hotbar, you can spam them over and over again while using other meds like bandages or med syringes. You can also eat them directly off of the ground by holding E on them and then selecting Eat. Something I see a lot of new players being confused about are the wipes in Rust, so I'll try my best to explain them. The first Thursday of every month is when the developers release a content update. Every server, with a handful of exceptions, wipes their blueprints and their map, meaning that your base, your loot, your progress will be wiped on the first Thursday of every month. This is known as force wipe. Individual servers can also choose when to wipe their map. This means that your base and loot will be wiped, but your blueprints and progress on the tech trees will be saved. This is known as map wipe or just server wipe. You can middle mouse click to grab half of a stack, or shift and right click to grab a third of it. If you need something more precise, instead of dragging the bar, right click it and type the amount that you need. Place extra sleeping bags around your base. That way, if the sleeping bag in your base is on timer, you can still respawn near your base without having to wait. You can have up to 15 sleeping bags throughout the map at any time. When placing a bag, make sure that it's blue and not orange. Blue means that it's far enough from other bags that the timers won't overlap. If you find yourself out and about during the night, make sure to stay near forests, cliffs, rocks, or anything else that will prevent you from silhouetting. Silhouetting happens during the night when you are darker than your background, usually the sky. As you can see in this clip, even though it's completely nighttime, you can still see the silhouette of the player against the sky. So 3 times.
Yeah, no way you saw me, bro. Easy record, fish me on fucking fun.
Hold W to go down zip lines faster. Walls, roofs, floors, and foundations all have a hard and soft side. Always keep the soft side on the inside of your base. The soft side is much weaker than the hard side, and it allows players to use basic tools to get through the wood and stone walls. Here you can see what the 2 sides look like for each material. The soft side is on the left, and the hard side is on the right. For foundations, the soft side is on top, and for floors and roofs, the soft side is on the bottom. If you're being shot at, look down while zigzagging. Looking down makes your head hitbox much harder to hit. As you can see here, the head hitbox on the player on the right is much smaller than the one on the left. You can't underhand grenades in Rust like you can in other games. Left-clicking grenades actually throws them, right-clicking drops them at your feet. If you find yourself being really low health, you can drink some water from water bottles, water jugs, or rivers to heal up to a little under half health. You can also get rid of radiation by drinking or sloshing in water. Scrap is how you progress in Rust. You need scrap to craft workbenches, research items, and progress down the tech trees. You can also use scrap to trade at the outpost, bandit camp, and sometimes with other players. To get scrap, you can hit barrels on the road, or run monuments for crates, and then recycle the components that you get from them for scrap and other resources. You're most vulnerable while farming. Always be moving to make it harder for enemies to hit you. I've seen so many newer players just standing still and hitting a tree, and it just makes it so easy to line up a headshot. Rust is full of people looking to make a play. That being said, if you don't have an airlock and someone kills you with your door open, congrats, you just lost your entire base. There are a few ways to build an airlock, but the most common one is with 2 single doors on a triangle, like so. The inner door should open outwards, and the outer door should open inwards. Even if you leave them both open, a player can't get through. Safe zones like Outpost, Fishing Village, Bandit Camp, and Ranch kill sleeping players about every 30 minutes or so make sure not to log off in them. The tool cupboard, or TC, is basically the heart of your base. If you don't have one, your base will decay, and when you log on the next day, you'll have nothing. Once you build your base, place the TC in a well-protected area and lock it. You'll also need to put resources into it for upkeep, and you can see what you need in the window here. Key locks and code locks are how you protect your base from other players. Key locks automatically lock themselves when you place them down, and they can only be opened by you or anyone who has a key. I suggest never actually making a key for a key lock since you don't need it to open a door, and if someone kills you with a key in your inventory, they can open all of your doors. Code locks, on the other hand, do not automatically lock themselves when you place them. Once you put them down, you'll need to input your own 4-digit code. Anyone who knows that code and inputs it will be able to access the door. To remove locks, first unlock them and then select Remove Lock. You can learn a lot from Rust YouTubers. Playing Rust is literally their job, and by watching experienced players play and make decisions, some of that might rub off on you. Some Rust YouTubers that I've learned stuff from are SpoonKid, Stimpy, and Mamameesee. When it comes to server choice, it all depends on what kind of experience you want from Rust, and how much time you have to play. It's no secret that Rust is a massive time sink, and if you don't have that much time to spend door camping your neighbors, you may want to opt for a server that has faster progression. I usually opt for a 2-time server because it's that sweet spot between the intended gameplay of Rust without having to spend 6 hours just to get a base down. Either way, if you're brand new to the game, I'd recommend getting on a low pop server just to get used to the controls, gameplay, and general mechanics of the game without having to worry about other players constantly killing you while you're just trying to figure stuff out. Once you've messed around in game for a little, if you don't want to be constantly overwhelmed by larger teams, I very strongly recommend joining a solo only or duo trio server. That means that the group size is capped at either 1, 2, or 3 people, and you don't have to be constantly dying to a 10-man Chinese Zerg while you're still learning the game. Alrighty, well, that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching until the end. Feel free to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and a dislike if you disliked the video. You can also subscribe if you want to see more from me, and if you're still hungry for more knowledge, I have a few other Rust beginner guides that might help you out. If you want something a bit more goofy, I also have that.